Hey everyone, today I'm going to be telling you what the books are for my SFF project in spring, which is March, April and May, as well as a watch along or two in March as well. First of all, if anybody would like to read any of these books with me, a buddy read or read along, whichever you prefer to call it, then please let me know, because I am very happy and eager to actually read these with other people and talk about them and just get more thoughts and ideas about what each book has in them and just how they work. I will start with the books first. There's 6 of them, of course, although one is a trilogy, and then I will talk about the 2 watch-alongs at the end. So let's begin with the books. The first book of the video is the science fiction book for March, which I will be reading in the first 2 weeks of March, and that is 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. This is a very well known book. Arthur C. Clarke is also extremely well known. He has written an awful lot of books years ago in the science fiction genre, and he's considered a very large name and influence within the genre itself. This has also spawned a film, which I'll get to shortly, and it's just a book that I thought I should read many times over the years, and I just haven't got round to for whatever reason. The fantasy book I'll be reading in March, and I'll be reading this in the second half of the month, is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is a classic fantasy. It's classed as quite traditional with some of its elements. I think it's often thought of as being aimed at a slightly younger audience. I don't know, but by the end of March I'll know for sure. And you may not be able to see it, but there's a little reference to a certain film at the bottom, which I'll talk about shortly as well. So now on to April. The first book is a science fiction book, and that is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. This is only the second Ray Bradbury book I will have ever have read, the first of which is unsurprisingly Fahrenheit 451. I've been wanting to read more by him for ages, ever since Fahrenheit 451 about 2 years ago now. And this is considered a really well liked and well loved book within the science fiction genre. It has a certain unusual style, I've heard. Obviously I don't know yet. And it just sounds really interesting, so here it is. The fantasy book for April is the largest in this video, and that is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book of 14 in the Wheel of Time series. It's big, without doubt, although it's not quite as big as it seems. It's got quite thick pages, and the series is well thought of. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I want to find out whether I love or hate it, so I'm going to start with this book. Now on to May, for which the science fiction book is a trilogy, in fact, the only set of books in this video, and that is the Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov, which is these 3, which is Foundation and Empire. They've all got very shiny covers as well, not ideal for video, and Second Foundation. These are books I've been wanting to read for well over a decade, possibly even 2 at this point. I've been wanting to read these for as long as I can remember. For some reason, like I've already said in this video, and indeed lots of books within this project, I've been meaning to read it and I just haven't got around to it for whatever reason. And now I'm going to. Isaac Asimov is unbelievably well known within the science fiction field, and Foundation is considered a very influential and important book within science fiction, hence why it's part of this project, of course. The final book is the only book I don't have an actual physical copy of yet. I will by the time I get around to May, of course, and that is A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K Le Guin. I think that's how you pronounce her surname. This is the first book in the Earthsea cycle. I believe there is either 4 or 5 books. I temporarily have forgotten. This is like The Eye of the World, one of these books that people seem to either really like or really dislike, and I want to find out whether indeed I do like or dislike it. So I'll be reading it and hopefully people will join me again. So that's it for the books of this video. Now on to the movies and the 2 watch-alongs. The first of which is 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. The film was made in 1968 and was directed by Stanley Kubrick, extremely well-known author. I doubt there's many people who haven't heard of him at this point. And the film is one that I've been curious about, especially with one of the ideas in the book being something called HAL 9000, which I have only heard about in passing. So I thought it'd be very appropriate to watch the film. I'm going to be watching it on the evening of Saturday the 14th of March. I will work out the time nearer to the time itself. I don't know yet exactly, but it will be roughly 9 o'clock GMT. So it will be early evening for Americans and early morning for Australia and Japan, pretty much. The second film will be for Howl's Moving Castle. The film of this was done by Studio Ghibli, who I love to pieces, beyond words. And it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. And I've always wanted to watch the film. I've watched most of Studio Ghibli films. That's one of the few I have not watched. And now I'm going to solve that flaw in my film history. I will be watching it on 2 weeks after the previous film on Saturday the 28th of March at pretty much the same time as 2001. And if you want to watch these with me, then let me know. You do need to use Twitter though. The hashtag I have created for both the SFF Project and indeed the 2 watch-alongs is one that is completely new. It's never been used before by anybody. And that is hashtag SFF Reading Project. Straightforward, but it does the job extremely well. If you want to watch either of these 2 films with me and indeed talk about them on those 2 days, then obviously use this and we can have a really interesting discussion. And if you just want to talk about any of the books I've read in the past to do with this project or any of the books for the rest of this year, then use that tag and I will check it on a regular basis. So with that said, that's pretty much it. If you'd like to join me to read any of these books or indeed watch the 2 films, you don't have to read the books to watch the films with me, of course, then let me know on here or indeed on Twitter or even Goodreads. I would love to talk about all the books and the films with people. I mean, that's the whole reason for starting this project, is to get more ideas, more views, more opinions, and therefore a greater understanding of the books and related films. And now that actually is it for this video. So thank you for watching and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.